Welcome back to another video on Magnum Madness. I'm pretty excited because we're finally getting into some of the more heavy-hitting Magnums and the more popular ones. In today's video, we're going to cover the 7mm Magnums that you chose and then the 300 Magnums that you chose. And let me tell you which ones those are. The 7mm Remington Magnum, no surprise, versus the 28 Nosler. And then the 300 Winchester Magnum versus the 300 WBY Magnum. So please remember to comment below on which two cartridges you want to see move on, and let's go ahead and get to them. Let's look at the most popular 7mm Magnum on the market. This is, of course, the 7mm Remington Mag. Now, it's so popular that most people refer it as the 7mm Magnum. So, this cartridge was introduced in 1962, and to be honest, it really set the craze for 7mm in America. Before that, no one really shot 7mm cartridges. This really took the market by storm. So why is it so popular? Let's look at the performance. Okay, so let's go to the 160 and 175 grain bullets. You know, in a 162 grain bullet, you can get this going 3,000 feet per second. And then with a 175 grain bullet, which has great BC, you're topping at 29, or maybe a little higher than 2,900 feet per second. So what this is kind of a great medium between the 30-06 and the 300 Win Mag. So it's flatter shooting than a 30-06, and it's a little bit faster, but it doesn't recoil as much as a 300 Win Mag. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. And one advantage that the 7mm cartridges have, with the same weight bullet compared to a 30 caliber bullet, it's going to have a higher BC. And so it is going to be flatter. The 28 Nosler. Some might say it's kind of like a fire-breathing dragon in 7mm. And I kind of agree with them. The 28 Nosler came out in 2015. The parent case is the 300 Remington Ultra Mag. It's also loosely based off the 404 Jeffrey case. And so the 28 Nosler, what they did was they took a 300 Remington Ultra Mag and shortened it to meet a standard length action. So the case length is 2.590 instead of 2.850 like a Remington Ultra Mag. And I think they found the sweet spot in performance and not being extremely overbore like, say, the 7mm Rem. It provides extremely fast velocities. Let's just go ahead and look at that. You know, I'll start with the 160 grain bullet, but I think this thing really excels in heavier bullets. So 160 grain, almost 3,300 feet per second. So that gives it about a 300 feet per second advantage over the very popular 7 Rem Mag. Just look at the 175 grain bullet, and this thing tops out when hand loading at 3,200 feet per second. That's fast. Now, when you compare this 7mm Rem Mag with the 28 Nosler, there are a few differences. The Rem Mag has a belt. You know, it's based off that 375 H&H case. The case length is 2.500 inches. So the 28 Nosler is just a tad bit longer, but the big difference is that the case is a bit wider. Now let me show you the difference in, I guess, how much powder or, well, grains of water you can put in. You can put in a Rem Mag with a 175 grain bullet already in there, 77 grains of water. And now we're to the 28 Nosler with a 175 grain. It can hold 90 grains of water. So that's 13 grains difference. Also, something else to note is the max pressure for the Rem Mag is around 61, maybe 62,000 psi, while the 28 Nosler is 65,000 psi. Let's now look at the most popular 30 caliber Magnum to this day. This is the 300 Winchester Magnum. This cartridge was introduced in 1963. Its parent case is the 338 Winchester Mag, really the 375 H&H Mag, because that's what it's based off. It does have that belt. This is the 300 Win Mag. And what's kind of unique with this is that it is a little bit longer than the other Winchester Magnums, which measure 2.5 inches. That is the case length, not with the bullet. And to fit a standard length action, they put the neck pretty short, as you can see. But the actual length of the case is 2.620. So let's go ahead and see the potential for this Win Mag when you hand load it. Let me just move the bullet. Okay, a popular hunting round is the 180 grain bullet. And you can hand load this well over 3,000 feet per second. In fact, you get it to 3,100 feet per second, which is really impressive. Which is kind of a big difference because most factory ammo with the Win Mag, you're getting 2,960 feet per second. So you could really bump that up by at least 150 feet per second at most times when you hand load it. The 300 WBY Magnum. This cartridge was introduced in 1944 and up until the mid-90s, before the 378 Weatherby came out, this was also the fastest 30 caliber Magnum offered in a factory rifle. Obviously some Wildcats could beat it. But this was kind of king of the hill for a while. Let's see why. Okay, so let's just look at some of the data. So let's also go to a 180 grain bullet. And now the Nosler book says you're getting almost 3,200. Well, you really can get mid 3,200 feet per second. And in fact, this load here, this is the 175 Barnes, I have it going 3,300 feet per second. So, you know, it is extremely fast and a hard hitter. It also has a bit of recoil too that comes with it. Now, when you look at these side by side, there really isn't much of a difference. Obviously, the Weatherby has a longer neck and has that double radius shoulder, but the case length is not that big of a difference. So how does it have 250 to 300 feet per second advantage in factory ammo offering? Let me give you a couple reasons. The first being the 300 Win Mag is a really popular cartridge, and it is chambered in just about every rifle. And so ammo manufacturers tame it down so that it will suit all rifles. So when you see a 180 grain out of a 300 Win Mag going 2,960, when you hand load this, you can really get this going 3,100 plus feet per second, which makes it about 100 to 150 feet per second advantage for the 300 Weatherby instead of almost 300 feet per second advantage. So that is the biggest reason. The other, this one's a little bit minor because there's not a huge difference, but is also the max pressure. The max pressure for a 300 Win Mag is 64,000 psi, while the Weatherby is 65,000. Weatherby also comes with a lot of free bore. Now you ask, how does Weatherby get away with always having these really hot factory ammo offerings? Well, Weatherby currently is the only one that makes Weatherby rifles. So they don't have to worry about other companies making their cartridges and worrying about whether the pressure will be an issue or not. Okay, let's just see the actual difference in case capacity. All right, 300 Win Mag, case capacity with grains of water. So that's going to be obviously different than grains of powder. But the case holds with a 180 grain bullet roughly around 82.3. So that's a lot, over 80 grains. Let me show you the Weatherby. And the Weatherby with 180 grains is 91.8. So it does hold probably around 9 more grains, which, as I said before, shouldn't give you almost 300 feet per second more. But again, as I said, most factory ammo for the Win Mag is really tamed down. And so if you were to get a 300 Win Mag, I would highly recommend you would reload for it, just so you can get the full potential. It goes from being about 200 feet per second faster than 30-06 to 300 to 350 feet per second faster than a 30-06. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please remember to comment below on whether you want to see the 7mm Rem Mag move on or the 28 Nosler, and if you want to see the 300 Win Mag or the 300 Weatherby Mag. Again, thanks for watching. Have a great day.